Hey everybody, welcome back to You Are Free TV. It is Wednesday, October 25th. I'm so glad to be back with you here on the channel. It's evening, that's why I have to be inside. The days are getting shorter. But I'm so glad to be back with you here tonight. We have some great wins, things I want to talk about. I'll jump in with my disclaimer first. This video is for entertainment purposes only. It is protected by the United States Constitution protecting free speech, as well as the Sullivan Act and reporting. It is not intended to bully or harass anyone, never to incite violence or hatred or lawlessness of any kind. It doesn't give legal, medical, or financial advice. There are further disclaimers in the description below. So I'm so glad to be back with you. We have a big win today. I'm going to just jump in with the news. I'll do some plugging later in the channel. But we have some great news today with Mike Johnson becoming the new Speaker of the House. This is us that did this. This is the people doing so many call-ins, so many pressuring of their representatives to do good for America, to not get McCarthy back in, to not let them put Emmer in. We, of course, had Trump defeating Emmer with the lethal blow there yesterday with retweeting what was Laura Loomer's incredible expose on Emmer, Tom Emmer, his connections to Soros, his connections to FTX, his using of all of the money he was raising as the majority whip to basically, strong arm anybody who was a supporter of Trump to get them to drop support of Trump, to defund any America First candidates, all of it. And so it's very exciting to see that we get Mike Johnson in. And so Mike Johnson, he is a capital C Christian. He is out of, I believe, north of New Orleans, there in Louisiana, doing great stuff for his people there in Louisiana. Constitutional lawyer. He was on Trump's defense team in the impeachments. He has been doing great work in the Judicial Committee, as well as the House Armed Services Committee. And he is somebody who has no leverage over him, okay? And this might be the first time in, it's beyond decades, the first time in close to forever where we have the Speaker of the House not leveraged, okay, by the global cartel Babylon. Nothing against him, nothing they can use, and he is a capital C Christian. And in fact, when he became the designee last night, what he did, and you saw in the thumbnail, I believe that's the thumbnail I'm going to use, is him calling for a prayer, okay, in the House. Instead of going for the press, instead of doing so many other things, he called for a prayer. And that prayer apparently worked today because Mike Johnson got elected Speaker of the House today. And we now have a speaker, an America First, completely devoted to the Constitution, okay, and a bona fide Trump supporter as Speaker of the House. And this is what we need going forward with Trump 2024, is that the Speaker of the House is going to be able to execute the America First policies that Trump is going to be putting forward. And of course, it's still worth a phone call to him or to your representative, 202-225-3121. Call them and say, we don't support this $100 billion that they're putting forward with this new bill immediately as they got him in. They are immediately saying we want this bill to go forward. We have this situation where this $100 billion, only $10 billion of it is going to go to this Israel fake war conflict. Okay, it's real in the fact that people are being killed. But it was obviously constructed, multiple deep state operations there. Okay, 10 billion going there, that's awful enough. But then 90 billion more going to Ukraine. Okay, going to this vacuum hole that is just a siphoning off of money to cartel Babylon. We never know where it goes. It's not doing anything. Obviously, Russia is in control of everything going on there in that war when it comes to the actual warfare. We have something like 1,300 Russians are signing up every day voluntarily. They don't have a conscription army in Russia. There's no draft. They continuously join up. We have Russia building up the areas of the Donbass that they have in Mariupol, where they have taken back. Okay. And there was something like 4.5 million Ukrainians that when they fled Ukraine, they went to Russia. Okay, 8.5 million more who had voted for the Donbass to go back to Russia. Okay, that was because of the corruption of Ukraine, everything that happened with the takeover of Ukraine by the oligarchs in the deep state in this effort for the cartel Babylon to remake this area and steal tens of billions of our taxpayer dollars ever since 2014, 13, this huge money funneling mechanism that is Ukraine. So that fight's going on in the House right now. It's going to keep going on. And, we have Mackey bringing it up. Thank goodness, Thomas Massey bringing it up, saying we're going to fight this bill. And it's already underway, but it's underway because we now have a Speaker of the House who is a constitutional lawyer who fought against Trump's impeachments and is basically unencumbered. Okay, so let's encourage him with phone calls to not take any PAC money. I don't believe he will. The super PACs who said we'll never support any Trumpsters are already attacking him, trying to give him PAC money. So no PAC money, just Matt Gaetz style, no PAC money. Let's do this America first all the way. So excellent news there. I think that's great. And so now, I'm really great. And so now I want to mention a sad thing, okay, as we look at, so Israel has said they're going to now wait another week before the IDF is going to do ground force attack into Hamas, against Hamas into Palestine. Already close to 6,000 dead in Palestine, 2,500 of them children, another 1,000 at least plus women. This total genocidal attack on Palestine, and all of the planned attack that this was and is to kick off a multilateral war, a multi-field war. We have the assault of Hezbollah, Iranian based groups hitting the U.S. bases in Syria, Iraq. Americans dying. Still no word from the Biden administration. All of them who hold no oath of office. They don't have oaths. Okay, these people are imposters, a crime syndicate pretending to be our government. And this is so important to understand that we are literally being occupied and having our country completely destroyed, designated for destruction by globalist forces, by people who have no oaths of office. And I'm going to talk about that more later. I've talked about it multiple times in my videos, but I'm going to talk about it more again here today. But just to understand, they're going to wait another week, okay, while the U.S. sends more troops over to Syria, Iraq. We've got 12,000 on the naval ships, the naval brigades there in the Mediterranean. And we're going to wait another week for what? Okay, what are they setting up? They're setting up something. Okay, people say, oh, it's because of negotiations, it's this and that and the other thing. No, I think that they literally want to create a really bad scenario to blow off about a week from now, because we're in this very interesting shifting time that it has almost as much to do with energetics and frequencies as it does to do with what's going on the ground floor, because there is a huge, massive frequency movement happening here of Christ consciousness, of people moving to Christ. And it's happening not only within our conscious realm, but I believe in a metaphysical realm, in a God consciousness realm, where there is actually a phenomenon happening in these next couple of weeks that has to do with higher energies that people aren't necessarily aware of, that are affecting them And it's why we're seeing these massive revivals, why we're seeing people coming to Christ, because there's a God consciousness at work here, but there is a subconscious demonic force, okay, that's working on a lower frequency, but still a very powerful frequency, already embodying all this cartel Babylon. So much to do with the push for AI, so much to do with the transhumanism push, that knows that there's a they talk in Revelations, the time is short for the devil. Well, I believe this time is short, and they have to get as much mayhem happening in this time period as possible in order to execute what they're planning to execute. And so we're going to see what happens. They're saying we're going to wait a week before we invade Israel so that they can position everything to set off. I believe they want to set off this Third World War and to make sure that everything's in place to do so. We pray that it's not so, and the prayer waves are so important. Praying and creating that heart resonance across humanity is already having a huge effect. And Cartel Babylon is feeling it, they know it, and they're trying to counter it. And it gets into everything deep, geographical energy, the area of Ukraine, the area of southern Russia, and Israel and the Holy Lands, and how it has to do with energetic construction of an assault, really, on humanity. And I'm gonna put that aside for this second. I'm gonna move into something else because I want to talk about a couple things. One, I think is very significant and awful at the same time. One is that the poster child of the vaccines in Israel, okay, that Netanyahu had said we were going to use our entire Israeli population as test subjects for the gathering of information and DNA and genomics for the purposes of what is creating this Build Back Babylon transhumanist system. Well, this 8-year-old boy just died yesterday of a heart attack. He was they used him as the poster child of this great vaccine, Pfizer. We've signed off our whole entire medical system to them. We're beholden to Pfizer, and Israel's beholden to Pfizer. A total takeover of their Ministry of Health, and that boy, used as their poster child, died suddenly from a heart attack at 8 years old. And that's what's disgusting, but it's that child is with God and free in a beautiful place. But it's awful. It's awful, and it's the genocide that they're doing. It is mass global genocide that they've been doing and been planned to be doing for a very long time. And I want to get into that now because we have some pretty interesting news that came out from Todd Callender that I think is really worth mentioning here and getting into, and then I'll get into multiple other things in this video. But I wanted to talk about the new release of information out of Todd Callender, the lawyer who's been suing the Department of Defense over the vaccine biowarfare and the gain of function, the use of our military in it, the NIH, all of it. Fauci goes way back into stuff to do with what I'm going to talk about, the nano sensors. He knew about all that. Was intrinsic in the gain of function research was the use of nano. It wasn't just, we're going to do gain of function on viruses and use mRNA and use, synthetic biology in the mRNA. We're going to use the whole massive sensor system, the smart system that they've been trying to develop for the last, 2 decades, but the last decade really intensely. But they already, in their own documentation, say that they already had about 87% of the United States population infused with a type of smart dust way back in 2014. I'll link a great Deborah Tavares video below, and the NASA documents that talk about it. the need to depopulate, right? That's always their thing, because we're under attack in this country by a globalist crime syndicate, okay, that are Luciferian based, wanting to push for, they use the scenario of the Bible and its story of the Antichrist and the arrival of, the Savior and all of that, pushing for basically a parallel 2.0 version where they want to speed it up. They've done it with all their Satanism, with all of their ritual abuse scenarios and cults, to speed that up into what they're creating now, in order to preempt, Christ coming back. Okay. And so anyway, okay. That aside, I'm going to move into the news here from Todd Callender, this great lawyer who has been fighting so hard, both the thing to discover that none of the Biden administration has oaths of office, okay, making them complete imposters. I'm going to get into that after. But also the situation where they knew very, very much so what they were doing in putting sensors into everything. And when I say sensors, I talked about it a little bit yesterday, and I've talked about it for, 3 years or 4 years. But the sensors, okay, I'm using this word sensors, which I don't use as much, but the sensors are basically they're biotechnology, biosensors that they put in everything. Everything medical is connected now to biological sensors. So it's in all the medicines, it's in all the injections, it's in the nano dust, it's in the aerial spraying. Everything is about tagging everybody on a wireless system, getting it into our systems, whether we breathe it in, whether it's injected in, whether it crawls in our ears because it's in the air and that's what it's designed to do. This stuff is in our bodies. And Todd Callender, I watched a great interview with him with Maria Z out of Z Media. Link it below. She's awesome. Zmedia.com, Zeee.com, zmedia.com. But Todd Callender has been shooting it right out of the park with everything he's been doing. And so he had a whistleblower. He's been suing the Department of Defense, massive lawsuits on multiple fronts. And he had a whistleblower give him this peer-reviewed paper that came out of March from 2021 that literally described everything that everybody's been going through about how, basically, in my words, it would be, it is the wireless intrabody nano network that I've been talking about on this channel for quite a while. The wireless interbody nano network, where they're using our own water and our own electricity of our bodies, okay, once they get our smart dust into us, or they shoot it through the injections, or you get a biological, implantation through taking drugs that have it in it, or injections that have it in it, and they are tracking you constantly, and it's completely integrated into the medical infrastructure now. And so I'll just get into it. And we have to also remember that cesium, it's been identified that in the biowarfare shots, we have cesium-137, okay? And, this basically makes everybody into a computer node because it allows for the interplay of I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see things a little more clear. It interplays with Gates patent 060606, okay? And this is, his patent had to do with how we can use these nano biotech to basically create a system to observe anybody's activities, their bodily functions, their biology in your body, but also your movement of your body, what you do with your body, as sources as a battery pack, and a use for your social credit score system, that the more you move your body or the healthier you are, the more more social credit score points you will get in order to, increase your social credit score. This was connected to not a CBDC, but in his patent, is connected to digital technology connected to currency, and that you be used as a battery pack to increase your currency. But also that you are then connected to being a human as a cloud computing node, okay, in the intracellular nano network within the Internet of Bodies, okay? And the Internet of Bodies is connected through everything from, it's really through the LED light system, through the 5G network, okay? That's why they're pushing it so hard, getting in all of our smart systems, all of our lighting, LED. Not here, no LED here, thankfully. It's getting harder and harder to find that incandescence. People are trafficking in incandescence now just to find some incandescence. So, okay, I'm going to just get into what Todd Callender had to say. So, what he got from this whistleblower is this great document. It was called "The Effect of Coronavirus Worldwide Through Misusing of Wireless Sensor Networks." And this is a peer-reviewed paper that had like 20 amazing scientists. Most of them were Indian or, not from the U.S. And so what it covers is the maltreating of wireless networks within the body. Okay, wireless networks within the body. So they're already acknowledging that there are wireless networks, intracellular networks within the body, and the maltreating of them, okay, with radio frequency technology. Amazing. And so what we get here is, the intracellular nano networks, the Internet of Bodies, which they've been pushing so hard, and these biosensors, the biggest ones would be, I got this medical, intervention, and they put sensors in me to do this, or I have diabetes and now I have this sensor on my arm to tell me how my glucose is doing, how I'm doing with my sugar levels. But no, what they're saying is that the maltreating of wireless networks is creating massive harm and injury. And so when they're specifically talking about this to do with coronavirus, this is out of March 2021. And of course, remember that the coronavirus was patented. It was a synthetic biology patented situation because it was a gain of function thing. And so it was patented. And so what they're calling it is a non-communicable sensor disease spreading worldwide through misuse of processed radio frequencies. So they say it's non-communicable, but then they say it's spreading worldwide. And the reality is, because actually it is zoonotic, it does cross species, it crosses beyond, between people. This sensor situation, this nano and the prions jump from person to person. And this is the technology that we're still trying to understand, but it does cross over from person to person. It's non-communicable in the sense that you don't get it through, supposedly kissing or having sex, although that's been, other people are saying, no, that's not true. I have sex with somebody and now suddenly, my periods are messed up, or, I get really sick after I, had intimate relations with someone. So it's all interesting, but just going on, I'll try not to interrupt and just read you what they say. So what they say is that data collected from individual profiles, diagnoses of disease, and sensor node records in laboratory experiments is how they got this. So this paper was based on people that were within an experiment in a laboratory setting where they followed these people and were able to see what happened to them, and it was very dire what they found out. And so this is what they found out. All patients, every single one involved in this laboratory experiment, suffered from what they're calling sensor disease. This is a nano sensor situation. And the maleffects of sensor nodes in humans' bodily organs. Okay, so the way that they suffered is what they're saying in this paper, this effect of coronavirus worldwide through misusing of wireless sensor networks. The way that this communicated through people and the way that they also were affected to become ill was through their eyeballs. Okay, this gets into LED lighting. They were affected by reflecting wavered wavelengths, okay, through their eyes. Okay, and I've talked about this so much, how light waves, LED, the blue lights, all of it, it goes through your eyes, and it affects electrically. It connects with the sensors and can instigate any disease that either you're already kind of predisposed to. So maybe you're pre-diabetic, and then you go full-blown diabetic, or maybe you have had cancer in the past, and it activates like a turbo cancer. This is coming through the eyes. It's to do with the LED, to do with the 5G and the EMF, and it's all out in this paper that Todd Callender is exposing. So then you get into okay, let me go on here. So they're reflecting wavered sensor lights through the LED lights through the open eyes with high-speed electromagnetic radio tracking systems. So through your Wi-Fi, you're getting this tracking system, this pretty much like they're just constantly tracking you in real time, like a GPS system. And they are able to instigate through one person or groups or towns or anything, whatever they want, using this technology. So I'm just going to put in here, folks, melatonin. Okay, and I might just jump in here. C60 Evo that sponsors this channel. It's the only thing that gets nano sized into your mitochondria to work with your melatonin in your glutathione, okay, to get the garbage out of your cells. And I'll talk more about it at the end of the video. But basically what they're doing is they're hitting you especially with light, okay? And it's the LED artificial light, and it's also the artificial light in the sky that's coming from the ionized sky. And so you want your melatonin, you want to be able to sleep, and you need to sleep in the dark, and you need to turn all your Wi-Fi off. It needs to happen. You need to get real about it. Turn your Wi-Fi off, turn your phone off. Put it in your car outside of your home. Have nothing in your house at night that is going to interrupt your sleep. And I also recommend for people who are, and I don't give medical advice, but if it was me, I would take glutathione to supplement my mitochondria, and melatonin to supplement my mitochondria, taking the garbage out of my cells that is created by this nano assault, and also grabbing the nano with the C60. So basically, this paper was put out basically to say that there is a threat to global health security concerning sensor health policy connected to the Sustainable Development Goals of 2030. They're saying that this mass sensor barrage, this sensor storm that they're putting on everything, all of the animals, all the livestock, just nano dust everywhere, smart dust everywhere on everything, trees, plants, humans, animals, everything, is a massive health security, basically pandemic. Okay, that's the real pandemic. The real pandemic is that we are flooded with nanosensors that are connecting to wireless networks. They've made us into wireless networks that are making us cloud computing nodes in an intra-body cellular nano network. And that's why they did the EBS, Emergency Broadcasting System thing, back October 24th, was to test that, okay, and to elevate people feeling like crap, okay, and a lot of people have been feeling like crap in the last few weeks. That's what I've been hearing from people around me. And so also what came out of this paper is that, hold on one sec, is that, oh my God. Okay, before I get it, I'm going to talk to you. They put out such a massive amount of what everybody is suffering from, every disease, every drop dead syndrome that everybody's going through. Yeah, we think it's the shots all the time, all the shots. It is the shots, and it is the nanodust, and it is everything that is transhumanist technology that they're aerial spraying and putting in the shots, but also the PCR tests. It's already in there if you stick it up your nose. Stay away from all of it, obviously. But let's talk about a couple things beforehand. We have the fact that we are basically we're beyond what smartphones are. Okay, we're more flooded with this nano garbage than our smartphones, and our smartphones are constantly hitting us with this biological readout, okay, to the cell towers, to all of it, but so are we. And just as our cell phones, like if you're in a zone where you don't get a good signal, right, and your phone's like draining of energy and it's constantly searching, well, that's what they've done to our bodies, okay, because we have that in us. And so it's constantly draining us as batteries, searching, okay. We're being taken over by I would say, demonic, non-human life form, whatever you want to call it. Okay, it's Satan in my view. We're being taken over by something that is parasitic, that can't sustain itself, that wants to take us, okay, and is constantly feeding on us, just like something feeds on your smartphone battery. Okay, and it's the same exact thing, sucking all of the energy off us, just like Gates' patent. Okay, the 06 patent. And so, okay. You know what this paper says that I've been talking about, the effect of coronavirus worldwide through misusing of wireless sensor networks. And I'm linking it all below. What they're saying is that, you know, wireless sensor networks are now essential in all medical technology, integrated into all the infrastructure of big med everywhere. It involves sensing, computing, detecting, tracking, observing, and recording the reactions of individuals within GPS locations. Okay, it uses the LED lighting systems, human electric fields, indoors and outdoors, plus the cell tower systems and GPS systems, and I would say in their Bluetooth of all kinds. And the sensors are deployed into all farm animals as well. They're deployed into all of our vegetables that are factory farmed, all of it. And that's why you need to get your food supply in order, organic only, local only. It's the parallel economy. It's the parallel life, really, folks, because these people, are they people even anymore? I don't know. They're like walk-ins, you know, demonic walk-ins of this cartel Babylon that's trying to kill everybody. We have to question, you know, if they're human. We have people in, we have the great guy out of, what is his name? I'll see if I can catch it later in the video, but out of Switzerland, who has come out, I think he was a banker, and his dad had co-founded the World Economic Forum with Klaus Schwab, left him in the 80s because Schwab was a crazy Nazi. And he's come out and said, you know, these shots are killing me and my family. And I now know that all of the World Economic Forum, all of them, for entertainment purposes only, all of the World Economic Forum should be arrested and tried for war crimes, genocide, absolutely, Nuremberg 2.0, 100% on the world stage. That we need to arrest everyone involved in the World Economic Forum's plan to take over world governments, to take over our food systems. We're now looking at a massive genocide of total famine across the world because of the destruction of our food industries, the destruction of our supply chains, all of it lies. All of it lies. The Green New Deal lies. All of it lies. So we're looking at biggest lies, okay? And then we're stripping them down. And we're taking the veil off, as we all have. I'm preaching to the choir here in this video, but what I'm saying is, don't get fooled for 1 second about anything. Hold the line on everything. And if you spend a dime in globalist money, you are connecting to that energy. You're connecting to the fraud. You're connecting to the lies. If you shop at Target, if you shop at Walmart, if you shop on Amazon, if you shop in any of these globalist places, or spend your money there, or do your banking there, you are giving consent to your own demise. You're giving consent to genocide, to global genocide. Don't hold the line, okay? Not 1 inch, okay? Just ask God how to tell you what to do, right? Because we can create parallel economies. We can support the great people doing great things within our country. A simple one, Mike Lindell, mypillow.com, mystore.com. You need all your household goods, go there. Go and shop in the parallel economy. Gab, the great free speech network, Christian network, is putting up a great business shopping list, okay, coming out soon. Shop for the holidays, and just shop in period, okay, with businesses that are America first, patriot first, anti-globalists. Don't give a dime to these people. And we're going to have to talk about taxes at some point, folks, because all of the money that they're stealing from us is illegal with federal taxes is a huge part of this. Our federal taxes, totally illegal. The creature out of Jekyll Island. I read a great book recently. What is it called? It's over there somewhere. It's called Private Splendor or something like this, all about 100 years of Jekyll Island, and all J.P. Morgan and Joseph Pulitzer, and all of these massive millionaires, the Pulitzer Prize, right? Him, all of these guys hanging out, Rockefeller, all of them, at Jekyll Island. It wasn't just the 1913 creation of the Federal Reserve, which isn't federal and there's no reserve. It wasn't just that. It was a whole huge, massive community over decades and decades creating policy from this tiny island off the coast of Georgia. So anyway, we go from there. I want to get into what they're saying from this paper, which are the common harms and deadly diseases caused by what they call worldwide misusing of wireless sensor networks, okay, which are put into us through the shots, put into us through the aerial spraying, and through people's medical pills and devices, okay? And so they call it CASID. It stands for Common Acute Sensor Infections and Disorders, okay? So this is, we've been talking about it so much, like, oh, it's kind of esoteric. It's like, oh, it's nano, it's getting in you. The shots get in you. It's causing this. The mRNA is causing this. The prions, the spike proteins, all of this. No, they're saying it's the sensors, okay? Beyond the prions. The prions, get super elevated. They want the prions in you because they get super elevated by the sensors. All right, but the sensors, okay, the nano sensors, okay, the smart dust, all of it, getting inside of us and spreading in all the animals, okay, is what is actually the thing that they're saying here. The prions escalate the disorders, escalate the harm, escalate the increased how you might stroke out faster, how you might die of heart failure faster, or your myocarditis will hit you quicker. But what they're saying is, this is what they got: CASID, common acute sensor infections and disorders, due to the misusing of sensor technology within GPS locations using radio frequencies through the EMF systems, through the wireless 5G systems. And so this is a short list compared to what they have, but it's still going to take me like 2 minutes to read it. But I want to read it. I think it's important. So laryngitis, tracheal cancer, leptospirosis, heart attack, heart failure, liver cirrhosis, hepatitis, chronic kidney disease, diabetes, stroke, dengue fever. Okay, dengue fever. They're coming up with a hemorrhagic Marburg type situation soon. That is that's been, what's the plan, okay, for the next pandemic? They need to have people bleeding out of their eyes and ears. And I don't say this to, it's just we can fight it through doing great nutrition, and also through super, total connection to God and heart resonance and prayer. This stuff is their transhumanist way to try to assault us, but we are beyond it already through our connection to God. And that's where repentance comes in. Forgive me my sins, let me be an instrument, God. That's important, step one, okay? You gotta be ready to, be real, okay? Be real about yourself and your family and your abilities and your commitment, okay? That's number one. And then, right, it's all the commitment to doing the right things with food, energy, community, God, and God, make me your instrument. And then, through redemption and surrender, it's a great thing from there. So don't get too dismayed while I go through this list, right? But do separate yourself from these mechanisms that could harm you. So going on from there, we get chronic kidney disease, diabetes, stroke, face palsy, measles, arthritis, paralysis, diarrhea, depression, brain cancer, psychological disorders, blood cancer, breast cancer, SARS, MERS, Ebola, bird and swine flu, TB, conjunctivitis, cataracts, amnesia, narcolepsy, rheumatism, lung cancer, dementia, cervical cancer, breast cancer, birth defects, stroke, etc., etc., etc. It goes on for like pages, okay, of what this thing, CASID, common acute sensor infections and disorders. So we already know that we're all been affected by this, okay, whether it's aerosol spraying or the injections or the spread, because this nano is capable of spreading, and so that's what we're dealing with. I thought I'd get into other issues tonight, but I think I'm going to leave it there, because that, I think, just taking away this and thinking about it, we've been assaulted by a censor network. Deborah Tavares has been warning us about this since 2013. Other people even further back. We know they're coming to, starve us out, try to do everything they can to harm us, through the engineered famine, through the engineered global Holodomor, which they did. Mike Adams talked about it today. We have it on the Solari Report, great article there, talking about what I've been talking about on this channel for a few years, the kulaks and the starving out by the Bolsheviks and the Lenin, communist revolution there in Russia, where they went and stole all the land from the kulaks, the breadbasket there, that's Ukraine, okay, who had been growing the best food and stealing their land and forcing them into stealing their land, their tools, everything about farming. And then they went ahead to, 6 million people that died in that famine that they caused in Russia, in Ukraine, okay, through Lenin, right? And so, that's all happening, but there is some good things happening to counter what is going on with this green farce, this green energy farce, which we know is just to increase this. How do we smartify humanity? How do we be able to kill them faster through this sensor attack versus humanity rising? And there is a really good front of breaking this down. And so I'm not going to go on too much further. I'm going to get more into some of the things I brought up here in my next video, either tomorrow or Friday. and talk about, more of the solutions around it, because there's a huge humanity fight back situation. And we know with this delay of 6 days that they're trying to put everything in place as they don't defend what happened in Syria or Iraq, the attacking of our bases by Hezbollah, and there's nothing, no response. Okay. Can you imagine if Trump was in office? No response. No, that wouldn't be happening. But now we do have a situation here where the new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, very, very eager to get the impeachment going, to get the all of the Biden crime family stuff moving forward on the Judiciary Committee. And then he's on the House Armed Services Committee as well, senior member there. And so it's going to be interesting. We have Lloyd Austin, for entertainment purposes only, no oath of office, according to Todd Callender and the research he's done. No oath of office of almost everybody in the Biden regime. And this is where I'm going to leave it off. There are no oaths of office. These people are imposters. And what it means is that everything they've done since pretending to hold office is null and void, including the J6ers in jail, Owen Schroyer spending his second day in jail today for his free speech criminalization. First time in U.S. history where we have a free speech criminal being held in confinement in solitary for being near the Capitol but having nothing to do with anything that went on there. But basically saying afterwards he still believes that the election was stolen, and that I think he mentioned that Joe Biden is a pedo. And so, we're looking at this problem, but could be a great solution, that none of these people have oaths of office. And what Todd Callender and his people working his team have found out through first asking for all of the oaths of office, getting the runaround, but finding out that almost nobody, Mayorkas, Merrick, Blinken, Lloyd Austin, multiple, like huge amounts, including Jack Smith, okay, who is prosecuting Trump, right, in this whole DC assault on Trump, while they try to liquidate his assets there in Operation Liquidation in New York, okay, well, he took the stand today, got fined 10 grand for no reason. These people have no oaths. And so we need to look at that tack of, sheriffs could arrest them right now for operating as imposters that are operating as public officials with no oath, that they don't actually, they're not true public officials. And so we have that. And so, they're either faking being public officials, or they're committing treason. It's a twofer, right? And so we have to really dig into this stuff and get further, pushing this forward. And I would say call, 202-225-3121 and talk to your representative about the fact that these oaths don't exist. And what do we do about it? Because that alone could make the entire Biden administration null and void, and all the laws that were enacted, all of it. So I know I've said a little bit of a repeat here around that, but I don't think it can be expressed enough how important that is. And of course, this new understanding on a different level about the effect of sensors, okay, focusing not on the mRNA, not on all the other stuff, which is really true, the spike proteins, the prions, all of it really, really real. But that in combo with the mass transhumanist plan and push of this military created infrastructure, okay, globalist run, to infect the entire human population with these nanosensors that cause CASID, right? CASID being the common acute sensor infections and disorders, okay? All right, I hope that all made sense. I appreciate you listening tonight. I'll be back, if not tomorrow, then Friday, And we will talk more about all this, and we'll get into the latest. So I appreciate you listening. If you found something that was of added value in this video, and you want to help support the channel, there's ways to do so below. I definitely would appreciate that so much for supporting You Are Free TV. It is super appreciated. And then I do have this amazing sponsor, which is c60evo.com/YAFTV. Get 10% off with the code YAFTV. And this is, when we talk about the sensors, we talk about the Nano. The thing with C60 Evo and really high quality carbon 60, or in this case ESS 60, because it's 100% pure, you get it right into your mitochondria, and it stays in your body about 10 days collecting all of this garbage, okay? And then it holds it for your melatonin and your glutathione to take it out of your cells, out of your body, and flush it out. It is a huge protection against 5G radiation, a huge protection against most forms of radiation. In fact, that's how it was discovered to be such an important and incredible supplement. And so that's that. If you contribute to the channel as a subscriber below, you get 15% off and a new code and a new, you get sent in an email, a code and a new link sent to you. So check it out. If you want to support the channel, they support me, support YAFTV, You Are Free TV, and so I appreciate them. So thanks for watching, folks. I super appreciate you. I hope you found this useful today. I think it's very interesting, this push, holding off for a week in this next attack on Hamas, what I think, and I'll get into my next video, what they're gearing up for with wanting it to be next week, because they're planning to connect with a larger frequency system here, a larger rollout that they plan to interconnect with a larger human frequency to do with this massive assault of mayhem and death and war that they want to subject the world to, specifically under the Abrahamic religious evolve, how it reaches out there. And what they're trying to do with that is to basically capture the minds and frequencies and energy of people who are connected to Christ. And we don't have to participate. We can say, oh, come, let us ignore them while praying for a different outcome, and also calling our leaders to stop this genocide, because we, of course, want peace, and we want people to be treated humanely, and we want to stop the genocide in every part of this world, including the Armenian genocide, the Armenian expulsion that's going on the border of Azerbaijan. So I'll leave it there, folks. You are free. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you very soon. Take good care. Pray. I'll see you soon. You are free.